presenting our next guest, Geordie LaForge and Pretty Pretty Princess.
A comedian is a teacher, a visionary teacher.
A poet, a student, a lover. This comedian is that and so much more.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Portland's funniest person, Mr. Ian Karmel.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Princess and Geordie LaForge from Star Trek, please. Clapping, thank you. I dressed up tonight as a stand-up comedian, so we're going to have a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of fun. I'd like to start out with this joke. How come I can drop a hammer on my foot and yell out, "Oh fudge," but when I go to Dairy Queen and order a hot fuck sundae, all of a sudden I have to talk to a sheriff's deputy? My name is Ian Karmel, like they said, which is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, because I am a 6'3", 350-pound Italian Jewish man, and my name sounds like a whimsical British candy store. That's what I got saddled with. I should not be Ian Karmel. Ian Karmel should only be the place in Narnia you buy your Turkish delight from. That should be Ian Karmel. My name should be Butch Deadlift. That should be my name. That or quote, Hamhawk, unquote. That should be my entire name. And my whole stand-up act is I just come out here on stage and say, "Better put some butter on it," and then I leave. I take off after that. Then I become the butter comic, you guys, and it's the best. People come up to me after shows, and they're like, "Yo, I heard you like butter and shit. I brought you this butter from home." Then we go eat it in the dark outside of the club. That's what we do with the butter. That's a joke about how people give us weed after shows sometimes. In case anyone has a ton of weed they need to get rid of. They mentioned I won Portland's funniest person. That did happen. It was pretty cool. I won $1,000 for it, and I promptly spent most of it on an ounce of weed and a throwback basketball jersey, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I spent it on. So I'm well on my way to becoming a bankrupt Southern rapper, which has been my dream my entire life. I like rap music a lot. I have one problem with it. I have several problems with it, but one that's been sticking in my mind lately, which is I listen to a lot of music or watch music videos where they talk about smoking weed, or they are actually are smoking weed, and then they go out to a club. They smoke a bunch of pot and they go to a dance club. That sounds like the worst fucking thing you could ever do when you got stoned. I have never been sitting at home smoking a bunch of weed and thought, I want to go hang out with a bunch of strangers in a loud, warm room. That's what I want to do right now. How can we make that happen? That would be the fucking worst. What if you actually met a girl you wanted to fuck at a club? What if she wanted to fuck you? That would be the worst. I don't want to have, I like sex in general, but I never want to have sex when I'm stoned, right? The only way I'm going home with her is if she has a Nintendo 64 at home. That's the only way that's ever going to happen. Or if it's like on the way, there's a Taco Bell on the way. That's the only other scenario I would do that. Speaking of fast food restaurants, I've noticed a weird trend lately where fast food restaurants are trying to sell me spicy food using firefighters. That doesn't make any sense to me. That it's like a firefighter and then a spicy chicken sandwich, and that's supposed to make sense to me. Why? Because like a firefighter has dedicated his life to fighting hot things, and there's probably no way he would ever eat a spicy chicken sandwich because, I mean, look at him. Every day he wakes up and vows to defeat hot things, but somehow he's been won over by this 99-cent spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's. So you know it's got to be good. It doesn't make any sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. With some of the other money, I have a little bit of money left over from the contest, and I think I've finally figured out how I want to spend it. I think I'm going to purchase myself an elderly man. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'll explain that. I come from Beaverton, Oregon, and whatever your opinion is, that's fine. I'm from Beaverton, and it's the suburbs. I grew up privileged, right? Kind of upper middle class. So I feel like anytime I complain about something, there really isn't any validity to it because of how privileged I was growing up, right? Like, so here's one thing that bugs me is there's too much auto-tune in rap music, right? So here's me complaining about that thing that bothers me. I feel like there's too much auto-tune in rap music. That's, I mean, some is okay, but I feel like they're really overdoing it at this point. Like, I mean, you want auto-tune to be paprika, right? And you put paprika on the chicken. You just don't eat a big pile of paprika. That's me. That's terrible, right? It's fucking awful. Here's an old man complaining about the exact same thing. I've had it with these robot Negro spirituals I keep hearing. I've had it. Sure, singers used robots in my day, but they didn't sing into them. I saw Mel Torme in Monterey, California in 1953. And he had a robot on stage, all right, but he didn't sing into it. He fucked it. He fucked it through the first 3 songs and the encore. Oh, I miss those days. We didn't smoke marijuana cigarettes either. We smoked opium, and that's the way we liked it. Oh, opium is wonderful. It'll turn a 3-piece jazz ensemble into Count Basie's swinging orchestra. It'll turn pumpernickel bread into any other kind of bread. It'll turn a 14-year-old Croatian immigrant on stage with Mel Torme into a robot. Opium! Which was way more effective, I feel like, in combating auto-tune and rap music. I do listen to a lot of, are there any hip-hop fans in here at all? Anybody like rap music? Yeah? Got a couple people. We have a blood in the crowd. That's very nice. You don't have to like rap to understand this joke. You just have to know who Kanye West is. I like Kanye West a lot. I like his music. I like who he is as a person. I like him especially because he answers the hypothetical question, what if a gay, black, 17th century French aristocrat time traveled to the future and became best friends with Jay-Z when he got there? He makes a lot more sense if you think of him like that, guys. He makes me wish Cribs was still around so bad because Kanye West Cribs would be the best. He'd be taking you through some crazy mansion in Spain and he'd open a door and he'd be like, oh yeah, this is my bathroom. And that's a fish tank full of beluga whales. Yeah, I dressed them up like a 1979 Oakland Athletics and shit. Yeah. That fish got a Raleigh Fingers mustache. It's awesome. I'm finding as I get older, there's more and more artists I like, not because of the music they make, but kind of who they are. Like Snoop Dogg, I don't even honestly like Snoop Dogg's music that much. I like his persistence. Because if you listen to the first album Snoop Dogg ever put out, which came out like 20 years ago, all the songs are like, I like smoking weed, bow wow. That's all of them. And if you listen to the most recent album he put out, which came out like 6 months ago, all the songs are like, guess what I still like doing? If you guess smoking weed, proceed to the next track, bow wow. That's it. It's amazing persistence. But neither of those guys are my favorite. My favorite rapper is this guy named Lil Wayne. Do you guys know who Lil Wayne is? Anybody in here? Couple people. For those of you who know, he's that rapper who looks like if you got a gremlin drunk. That's him. He had that song a couple summers ago that was like, Amélie, 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 Amélie. That song about the French movie Amélie. You know that? That's Lil Wayne. Now, to understand exactly why I like Lil Wayne so much, you have to understand 2 things about me. The first is, I'm a coward. We'll get that out of the way. The second is, I enjoy nothing more than on a beautiful day, rolling down my windows, turning my music up, and driving along and singing along or rapping along to whatever music I'm listening to as loud as I can. And what I'm afraid of is I'll be listening to one of my favorite non-Lil Wayne rappers, and I'll be rapping along to it like, blew the brains out the Chevy, call it suicide. It's a way of life, that's how us young niggas ride. And a black person will walk by and not appreciate the context at all, and reach into the car and slap me in the face so hard that it tears open the fabric of reality, right? I'm getting slapped in super slow motion like, oh, and then my consciousness is sucked through this tear into the body of a slave in like 1621, and I'll have to live that entire terrible life until I'm shot back through the tear into my body, which is just now getting slapped in the face. So I'll be like, I will never say that word again. I'm only listening to Kenny Chesney until I die. Thank you! Thank you! But that's not a problem with Lil Wayne, you guys, because Lil Wayne is from outer space. So he only raps about outer space shit. So here's like an actual Lil Wayne line. Young Money run this, towns, countries, I still eat rappers, scrumptious. Scrumptious. There is no one on earth who's going to lean into my open car window and be like, what the fuck do you know about scrumptious, white boy? I know everything about scrumptious. Ham Hock knows everything. Thanks, guys. I've been Ian Karmel. See you in a minute.
Ian Karmel, ladies and gentlemen, joining Veronica and Alex backstage to solve your problems.
Can't believe Joe's dead.
Yeah, it was murder. Cancer does not make a gunshot sound.
Yeah, we need to prune down the list of suspects. You have a revolver.
This doesn't mean anything. I always have this with me.
Yeah, where were you? Where were you when the lights went out?
Well, I've been on ketamine for the last week, so when the lights went out, I distinctly remember being dragged through the desert by a bunch of filthy Tijuana mules. But you, LaForge, you can see in the dark.
You realize this is just tinfoil, right? I'm not actually Jordan LaForge.
Hey, chills, my brother.
Okay, stop talking that way. You realize my friend Joe Hieronymus is dead.
But
right?
see here, Star Trekker, see here, you've got motive, right? Because you were just saying the other day that the iPod is like a ripoff of your fancy spaceman tricorder.
That was a completely hypothetical conversation.
Hey, I hope that this doesn't reflect poorly on our race.
Okay. Hello, white girl dressed as a raisin.
Hey, my name is Bebop.
Okay, you know what? Good night!
You know, that Jordy LaForge isn't really acting like himself.
Yeah, you think he's the murderer?